testimony too from I think I mentioned that part where when you had gotten
a little bit way back, yeah.
Yeah, when you got evicted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, we got this, and I was actually broke when I said it, but then everything just panned out.
It happened pretty rapidly too.
Yeah.
Like Corey just told me, come to Canada, and then I was like, okay. And then I had gotten evicted, and then Corey just miraculously, there was funds available to buy plane tickets to go to Canada.
Yeah.
And then from there, I quickly ordered like a suitcase and just packed a couple of stuff, and I was walking pretty fast to get to the airport too.
Yeah.
Like really fast. And there was a lot of snares, like people from the States that were trying to like keep me from not going, from not going to Canada.
Even though you had nowhere else, even though you didn't really have anywhere better to go.
I got called from a job that I applied, a Mexican restaurant, and they called me on that same exact day that I was heading towards the airport. And they were like, oh, we can hire you. And I was like, no, thank you. And so, I arrived at the LA Metro, and then from there.
I wonder if we should share that part about where the trees were going virally.
Yeah.
This is usually we've been accustomed to not like share too much of like the really crazy sounding stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember at a time when I was talking to Adriana on video call when she was on her way to catch the train. And I noticed that the trees were moving really fast by her. I was like, are you on a bicycle? And she's like, no, she didn't notice that she was moving like supernaturally fast. And so things like that, if you've experienced them, it's not that we're special or anything. We'll utilize people mightily at times, and they gotta not let it get to their heads. But it was kind of interesting because she didn't even get to know that she was moving abnormally fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I was going pretty fast, and I got to the metro in LA, and then I was able to get to the LAX airport like pretty fast too there.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. You want me to?
Yeah, you can continue on.
Okay.
You know what happened. I didn't know what happened. I remember you had to stay out. Like you had to stay out that one night.
Oh yeah, I should talk about that.
Trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, so me and Corey were on the phone, like, while I was trying to get to the airport, too. And he was encouraging me, and we were both just, making sure that we were both heading towards each other. And that night that I was waiting for the bus, there was a vehicle, and they were trying to lure me in, like, set snares. There was a lot of snares set that day. They were trying to tell me, oh, there's a women's shelter. Come over here. It's right near, like, right across over here. There's a women's shelter you can go to. And then I was pretty, like, determined that I was going to go to Canada to be with Corey. And so, yeah, we were on the phone, and he was listening to, like, the weird persecutors that were trying to get me to go a different direction. And, there was a vehicle that was like, oh, do you need a place to stay? And then, yeah. Like a hotel to stay in, and then I was like, no, I'm waiting for a bus. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both stayed up all night that night while you were waiting
Yeah.
for the train, and then you were trying to keep your phone charged while you took the
Mhm.
train, and I think it was maybe that was the time I was talking to you when you were going to get some food. Actually, I was
Cane's chicken.
yeah, when you wanted to go get chicken out of nowhere. I think it was just. I think it might have been while you took like a cab the rest of the way to get
Yeah,
to the
that was
airport
like
that you were.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have some pictures of your screenshots or past. Like you were.
Yeah, I got
sweating.
drugged. I got drugged a couple of times.
Yeah.
Surprised I was able to take both of the flights.
You think it was there when you got drugged, like
Huh?
somewhere around the time that you took the cab, or when you got to the airport?
No, I think it wore off because I
Yeah.
was able to focus a bit more with
Yeah, the
the whole
airport. The
airport.
airport thing was crazy.
Yeah.
Before when you get to that part.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I got to the airport, I was still like carnally minded, so I was still focused on like, all the distractions and perps and persecutors, let's say, around.
Briars and thorns.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of losing it a bit at that moment. I went on YouTube Live and I started just like babbling and uh, acting out a bit out of my emotions from certain triggers. So I was still trying to maintain my cool at the same time. And Corey was there for me to help me out so I wouldn't like lash out or end up like yeah.
Before we knew you got drugged with acid or something at the airport, and remember that you kept getting sent in the wrong directions. The what actually wasn't your plane, and I was praying, and then you somehow miraculously found your plane on time.
Yeah.
But I remember before we knew that, you're like, I was trying to talk to you, and we were on video call, and you're like, I'm gonna go sit. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down, and then you're like, I'm already sitting down. I think that was.
Yeah.
I think that was when you were like, the floor is moving all weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when I was like realized I was on LSD.
Yeah,
I felt off most of the time. I was kind of just walking around.
You're sitting there talking to me the whole time. You're like, I'm gonna go sit down. I'm already sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few funny times that, and then we both got drugged, but that was another story
too. Yeah. And they kept on changing the plane ticket. Like I arrived and I went to go find the number, and then they were like, "Oh, you're actually at the wrong what do you call it?
At the wrong station.
Yeah.
Terminal."
So I had to go and find like another one, and I was running around like the airport, like rushing to make sure I wouldn't miss the flight.
That happened like 3 times, didn't it?
Yeah, it happened like several times.
Wrong terminal like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And while you're like sleep deprived and like going loopy.
And there is a probability like there might have been like people from secret societies like following like monitoring too, like yeah
Looked like it.
Yeah, I was like going everywhere in the airport. Like I ended up going down some stairs, and I ended up going like in like somewhere where there's like it was weird.
Yeah, it would have been weird on acid.
Yeah. Like I ended up in different parts of the airport. Yeah, and I made it in time. Yeah, but they kept on rearranging the plane tickets, and during my time there. What else?
Then you made it to Canada.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so I took the first flight, and I think that's when I got probably drugged with LSD. Like
I thought it was
there.
before that because you said the floor was moving all weird at the airport.
Yeah, second flight.
Yeah.
The second flight.
Oh yeah.
It was
You had
like
to
late.
land for some reason. Then you had to catch another one.
Yeah, I spent the night. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then while I was looking at the floor, it was like lava.
Yeah, you got
like rivers, like water.
We both got really sleep deprived. Remember you were saying I didn't know. You said when you first met me, my hair was all crazy.
Yeah.
I got a little.
We both looked all like messed up.
Yeah,
from like how we were.
We we
sleep
both
deprived and
we both had been through a ringer. Because after I said we got this, and then we had enough to get you.
Yeah.
I still didn't have enough to get to the town where you were like gonna.
Yeah.
Where you were gonna be getting off the plane. So I had to come up with that, and then I didn't know where the airport was in that town either. So I was like all sleep deprived myself, like going to try to find a way to get over that airport, and then the airport was like massive.
Yeah.
So I'm like walking around in circles, and then found that part that happened to be by that like those like
horses.
The horses. It looked like the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
And then I got to nap. I remembered you getting on live for a short bit, and you were going all nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was panicking when I got there. I was like, I hope they don't send me back. I have my passport. I was trying to make sure that I was putting everything the right way into the I was panicking because Corey was kind of running a bit late, so I was like, is he gonna be here? Right? Like, you like I waited a bit, and then I
remember you coming out. I was
no,
I wasn't late. I was
yeah.
Yeah, I was right there. I seen you walking out all weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's my wife. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the story of how we got to the airport to meet each other.
Trying to think of things that happened in between that and that.
Oh, you were encouraging me while I was like tripping out on the floor, like how the floor was moving.
Yeah. No, I mean when you got off the plane, we only spent one day in that like big city, and then my 2 brothers kind of miraculously just came to us because they weren't gonna pass through that town.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, because I was trying to get some of their camping gear because they didn't need it anymore, but they weren't gonna be going through that town, and then all of a sudden they were, and then they gave us a ride down.
Yeah, that was a huge blessing. Yeah. Like they helped us a lot.
Yeah.
Like they gave me like camping gear and sweater, and they took us to eat too.
Yeah.
They were very generous. Like
we got to get a lot of food and good sleep after.
Yeah, that was. It was like certain things were just set in place. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had our tent and everything there. Halloween was approaching this time.
Yeah, we were trying to make a PowerPoint to warn people. I'm still for sure, like it's been talked about enough on the internet. Like people that are going through the spiritual warfare should definitely depart from pagan
works of
idolatry, folly. You know, that we were working on a PowerPoint. While we still had a laptop to work on.
Yeah, the energy was getting hostile, and the workers there were getting demonically hijacked from just listening to Corey and I talk about the dark realities of Halloween. Yeah. And if you go back to that video, you can actually listen towards like ending when the noise levels start.
Like, when they start making a huge racket.
See how like spirits, demons jump on people.
That's on your channel that we lost access to.
Yeah.
The Halloween. I think there's part 1 and part 2.
Yeah. And then that night we were heading back towards our campground, and
I think that was that night. Were you about to talk about that messed up family that was
got
like
destroyed?
Was it this?
Huh?
No, it wasn't. Because I remember we got. We'll talk about that for a sec. That not before. It was a different night. I just remembered that family. That weird hijacked family.
Yeah, it was.
That we went to go back to our campsite, because I remember our campsite was fine that night.
Yeah.
When we got back to it, the shelter and that. We were heading back, and then there was this really weird family, like with this like weird
demonically possessed,
like
yeah,
mischievous, sinister sort of smile. There was the father, the mother, and the 2 teenage, like the boy and girl there, that they were just sitting there frozen, looking all messed up. So we kind of just walked in to go to our on the pathway to our campsite quickly, like, okay, that was weird. Like they're like the dad and the mom the dad was like facing the trees, and then on the other side, like going in, the mom and the 2.
Yeah, they were standing there just still, like,
like, and all smiling.
Demonic
and then
expressions.
I was like, that was so messed up. And then we got remember we got closer to the campsite, and it was dark, and then all of a sudden they started moving with flashlights, like all fast towards us. And then we got there, and we're like, those people were like totally demonically hijacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was before, because our campsite wasn't destroyed that night. It was destroyed after we went to that restaurant to do the Halloween presentation.
Yeah, that right here.
Yeah, our shelter, wood shelter, and it was around the tent got destroyed. So we packed. No, we didn't really pack anything up. We just kind of like grabbed the sleeping bags and then felt, because it was too dark. Fortunately, I had another like little shelter thing built that we could just throw a tarp over top.
Yeah.
And then that was like, then either we slept there for like one night, and then it was Halloween the next day. Yeah. So I think we got the presentation done before, and then somebody got big mad and then destroyed the shelter.
Yeah, we got a flashlight and we just saw the whole like booth that was set up all destroyed.
Yeah.
And the tent too was all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't even built that booth thing either. That was weird. Remember I was talking with you and Lucas on like the video meet.
Yeah.
And I was like, this wasn't even out here. I was like, there's just this random thing out where I camped, like built here. And then the one that we fell back to, that one I had built like earlier, like months before or something, out of just sticks and duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to sleep in that one before I had a tent.
Yeah, we had it all decorated with lights. We had those remember the lights?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this right here.
Oh, yeah. Did you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so we ended up at the shelter that Corey had built, and then to keep warm for the night, because it was pretty cold that night on Halloween. And as we were just like sitting down, sitting down and getting a fire so we can keep warm, we heard from a distance what sounded like a child being sacrificed, and then after that, a cat.
I think it sounded more like something bad happened to an animal, and then it sounded something bad happened to a child after that.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to admit.
Yeah.
We were in denial. Like, was that like some messed up audio recording? Because it could have been. But yeah, the world's a really messed up place, and so it's like my mind was in denial that that's what it would have actually been.
It sounded like really clear, and
it sounded like
yeah,
in somebody's like backyard or something, like in nearby houses or something that were out of those woods that something really bad happened.
Yeah. And it was really late too.
Don't know for sure. That's
Yeah.
what it sounded like.
Yeah. But we do know that there are innocent children and animals that get sacrificed on that night, Halloween. Like, that is the truth. Yeah.
And that's why I did not have anything with the pagan idolatry and all that.
Yeah.
Just ties in with demonic altars.
Yep.
And it says in your Bible not to.
Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much it. Yeah.
More to.
Yeah.
That would be part one. I'm trying to remember.
That's right.
Really noteworthy. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit that I remember off the top of my head. Then you wouldn't have to like brainstorm.
Yeah.
Stuff's good to remember though. The things that got us through. We kept screwing up and we were getting all frustrated because anytime we got some extra funds to work with, and fortunately this was before our son and daughter were born. So it was just us dealing with ourselves. But every time we were getting some extra funds to go, we gotta go do laundry really bad, you know.
Yeah.
And then we kept just getting food instead.
Yeah.
And we were getting kicked out of like all the A&Ws because they were like hating us, like. But well, not kicked out, like they were really mad at us.
Like
at
trying
that
to
one.
rush. Yeah.
Yeah, they would be
Get us
rushing
to like
us and
eat
stuff.
fast and get out.
Yeah, it kind of seemed to work out our stubbornness though, because since we didn't get any laundry done, and then when we had more funds to work with, we went to like the way to the other side of town for something to go look at something. Oh, you wanted a cat. And then so we were going to look for cat stuff at that pet store. I remember we were doing that day. You're like, you were all obsessed with getting a kitten, and then we got to get back to where my mother was looking after my cat Dakota, so you just fell in love with Dakota.
I love Dakota, yeah.
But,
and there's a testimony too that we'll talk about.
Yeah.
About Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to we were on that side of town, and then I was like, hey, I think I know what we'll do since we didn't get good sleep because we went through all that crap like on Halloween. Like we basically were up all night that night because of all the things that had happened, that weird family, those weird sounds, and the shelter getting destroyed, so we didn't get a lot of sleep. I was like, let's just get a hotel for like 2 or 3 days that also has laundry, and then we can do laundry and get a good sleep and order some food in that. That was one of the times I think we got drugged though, when we ordered food.
Yeah.
And then we got into an argument after. Let's eat that like delicious Indian food again, and then we got all jacked up. Yeah. Yeah, so we got to get laundry done and get somewhere to sleep. Then I woke up one of the days we were there, and it's snowing. Like it just like went from no snow to like so much snow.
Yeah.
And then so praise we had gotten into shelter right on time, and that's happened a few times. Praise it's because winter's no joke in Canada. So I remembered that, and then I guess we could off memory, like could go to like where you had met Dakota.
Oh yeah.
We then, since it was snowing, like where we were camping in the woods was not set up for surviving a winter. We ended up catching a bus, and then we were gonna go meet with another target individual, so-called, right? And I don't mean that like I say so-called target individual because we like to say covertly persecuted.
Yeah,
not
we
use
do
the
phone calls, like face calls, and and then they'd assured us that we'd have a place to stay with that person, and and it didn't end up
Yeah, they just
They
dropped
just
they just
like
dropped
yeah.
contact with us right after we'd already
We're
went to
heading
go
that
take
way.
the journey.
Yeah, we were heading that way. Like we had it in mind. Like we
Yeah.
even took a
Yeah, we
bus.
already agreed to it and everything. They were like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
just come stay with me," right?
Yeah.
And then we couldn't get a hold of them, so I don't even know if that was a covertly persecuted person or just like an agent that wanted to set us up. We ended up
Yeah.
getting stranded in a town where uh, fortunately I had some family that came around enough to give us a place that they weren't using to stay in, where Adriana got to meet my cat Dakota.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
fell in love with Dakota.
yeah,
He's a unique cat. There's no other cat like Dakota
yeah,
that I've ever met. Yeah.
yeah.
And he liked me too. We both just like yeah
Yeah.
got along.
He's still with us in our hearts. But
We'll
he
talk more about like
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a he's yeah he's a special cat.
Could just say
Yeah.
briefly, kind of that like he we don't want to skip ahead too far in testimony, but we had ended up homeless together, right? Once again after when my wife was pregnant with my son Israel, we went through it then, and
Yeah.
then when we went through it again, right, that was pretty brutal. We didn't have a place to stay. We ended up taking Dakota with us, and he helped us to get through the journey. He had gotten kind of sick, like some sort of breathing problem, and fortunately, we managed to get him back to where you could see some cats that he knew. But if you ever met like an animal that it's like they're not just like an animal, right? There's like some sort of intelligence and wisdom that's with them. Because I
Mhm.
remember long before I met Adriana, like I had my cat Dakota, and I didn't trust any of my so-called friends and everything. Dakota was like my best friend, and then when Adriana was going through her deliverance process, at times we didn't trust each other too well. We're talking like from like your two so-called target individuals, covertly persecuted people that meet. Like
Traumatized and
yeah,
pattern recognition.
you thought about me like, why is this guy living out in the woods like this? Is he a
Yeah.
psychopath or something, right? And then so like it's like, no, I just got sick of the world. I got sick of shitty roommates and stuff. So like
Yeah.
I live in the woods, and then like there was a point I didn't trust you because you ended up just like laying in
I was
like
a
a
phone. I was addicted to
yeah.
my phone.
Yeah, you were kind of checking out on the screen and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, man, like I didn't know what was going on, so I slept in a different room, and then it was Dakota coming up to you that showed me that you were actually like a real person still. So it's like he strengthened our trust in one another, even though we had all these fractures and stuff, and
Yeah.
we're not perfect. There's been like praise, yeah, for a lot of deliverance and stuff because you really could have that false pattern recognition. Like my wife reminded me of like an old roommate that I had, who I also like. I forgive that roommate too. He was really hard to deal with, and there's just something with his brain, right? But you start to see certain things that people do is like deliberate when it's not always deliberate and stuff. It's just yeah, we've all fallen short, and um, sometimes some people out there really are like evil,
Intentional,
and then
yeah.
other times if you have that false pattern recognition that a person that's been through a lot of persecution and trauma could have, you really see it like that, like it really seems like that, but it's not. That's why I really love that Psalms 19. Read it in the regular Bible and then go read it in the Septuagint, because it's like the message that I've gotten there is like, oh, you could just be paranoid, but maybe not, but you don't go right off, like half cocked and start pointing the finger on people and stuff because you could potentially be bearing false witness. And then that's transgression, right? So then, you leave yourself more open to your actual enemies by, pointing the finger at the wrong people and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we'd messed up in that way before. And yeah, like Dakota really helped us throughout our walk, actually. And it's been a handful of animals in my life that, it's like I learned something from them, it's like deep and spiritual.
Love,
yeah. Yeah.
We can't wait to talk about the journey with Dakota and
Yeah.
and jumping. Yeah.
A bird. Yeah, and then so we got there, and then there was a long struggle. Like you notice what I'm saying now, like that if a person's going through doing stuff, you can actually overcome it, like by faith.
Yeah.
Like that you can hear it. You can, for some
Feel it,
reason,
yeah.
both of us even got to a point where we can see it. Like
the lines.
The waves. It's not like it doesn't, like for me before I was walking in faith, when I was carnal minded, like I would feel like I was getting cut by razor blades day in, day out, and I would be trying to keep patience, and then I'd kind of snap. But then after initial deliverance, it's like, wow, they're doing all this stuff, all this evil, torturous shit, and it's actually not even working, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so you've kind of seen that
Yeah.
now too, like the benefits of actually navigating this spiritually.
Yeah, getting out of the flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad she lost access to original channel.
I have no way to on there.
Thinking about you were thinking about making another one with 2 children. It's a lot of time's been consumed.
Yeah.
Adriana just woke up.
Yeah. Our daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't thinking about what was noteworthy after, like there's that time that we baptized you in the tub. And baptism
was there.
Baptism is like the sanctification and the washing of his word, right? So, people don't gotta worry about like going and like rushing to like plunge into some water like I did. Like I felt like I procrastinated till winter time, so broke through some ice and went in there, right? It's, you want to be sanctified in the washing of his word. And it actually wasn't the time that happened. I just remember the time that we got drugged when we went to that one restaurant, but it wasn't that night after you got baptized. It was, remember we both had poutine?
Yeah.
You said they didn't have poutine in the States?
Yeah.
And then she had ended up like not liking the one you had, so I ended up sharing like a little, and then so whatever happened, we both ended up like getting drugged like equally.
Yeah.
Like, because I think they just wanted to do it to you so that you couldn't function, so they would get into like an argument or something. And then so we both just ended up like really messed up after eating at this restaurant, right? So some of the times when people were like accusing of us of being on drugs and stuff, the thing is we probably were. we didn't consent to it or anything.
Yeah.
We just wanted to go get something to eat, And then yeah. So, that was funny that day.
Yeah.
But I think it was like some kind of like downer or something. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And then yeah, I suppose next time we carry on with that, we could talk about when we ended up on the road before Israel was born.
Or the mountains.
Yeah.
We could talk a bit about the mountains experience.
Yeah, that was that time when
Yeah.
you were pregnant. We ended up in the mountains. So I'm trying to like think about anything between like what we were talking about and then, if in case we're missing anything that's like really noteworthy, like.
And then the cities that we went to with both of them, Adriana and Eliana.
Yeah, that's like that's quite a bit ahead of.
Or the hospital.
Yeah.
There's several more testimonies to share.
Yeah, we live in a really evil world. That's greater is He that's within than he that's in the world. It's been epic though.
Yeah, how Yaz moved in our life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was part 1.
Part 1.
Yeah.
That was part 1. Yeah.
You think we should leave it at there?
Unless you had any scriptures off the top of your head that jumped out to you recently or anything.
You want to read Psalms 19?
Psalms 19?
About the presumptuous sin, or?
You know where your phone is? Because you can read it from the KJV, and then I'll read it from. I'll get your. I'll get the other phone, and I'll find it on the Septuagint.
Okay.
Well, I gotta find my Bible. Unless this one is worded right. It's probably the same in a lot of. Oh yeah, it's in here. You could read it from this one, and I'll find it in the Septuagint in that one.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Oh, you can find it in here?
No, you could read it in here. I'll find
Okay.
it. Yeah, I'll find the Septuagint one on here.
Oh, Psalms 19. The heavens are telling the glory of God, and the firmament proclaims his handiwork. Day to day pours forth speech, and night to night declares knowledge. There is no speech, nor are there words. Their voice is not heard. Yet their voice goes out through all the earth, and their words to the ends of the world. And them he has set a tent for the sun, which comes forth like a bridegroom leaving his chamber, and like a strong man runs its course with joy. Its rising is from the ends of the heavens, and its circuits to the end of them, and there is nothing hid from its heat. The law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord of Yah is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yah is clean, enduring forever. The ordinances of Yah are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, even much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and dripping of the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and keeping them there is great reward. But who can discern his errors? And this is the part where it talks about, clear thou me from hidden faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me, then I shall be blameless and innocent of great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yah, my rock and my redeemer. Yeah, the presumptuous sin.
That's a prayer to pray to make sure that you're not like,
bearing
transgressing, bearing false witness. A person that's targeted does very well to stop complaining, even if you feel like there's much to complain about. Feelings aren't facts, and that kind of thing that'll help you to navigate better. That and imitating Yahusha and really fully embracing the spiritual solution, because you'll keep on getting screwed over if you keep on trying to fight the war carnally. So this is from the Septuagint. Does it say this part? Because then this is I don't remember it. Just go to Psalms 19 there, because I was just curious about something quick.
Yeah.
Psalms 19. It doesn't say in the Septuagint. For some reason, it says "for the end" in a lot of. It doesn't say it in every psalm, but a lot of psalms, for some reason, it says "for the end." A psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament proclaims the work of his hands. Day to day utters speech, and night to night proclaims knowledge. There are no speeches or words in which their voices are not heard. Their voices gone out into all the earth, and their words to the ends of the world. In the sun he has set his tabernacle, and he comes forth as a bridegroom out of his chamber. He will exalt as a giant to run his course. His going forth is from the extremity of heaven, a circuit to the end of heaven, and no one shall be hidden from his heat. The law of Yah is perfect, converting souls. The testimony of Yah is faithful, instructing babes. The ordinances of Yah are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yah is bright, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yah is pure, enduring forever and ever. The judgments of Yah are true and justified altogether. More and to be desired more than gold and much precious stone, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. For thy servant keeps to them, in the keeping of them is great reward. And then it's different in this part, not to definitely still pray against presumptuous sins, so that you don't do them, and you don't judge things improperly before it's time. You don't judge by the seeing of the eyes and the hearing of the ears. But this is interesting here. For thy servant keeps to them, in the keeping of them there is great reward. Who will understand his transgressions? Purge thou me from my secret sins, and spare thy servant the attack of strangers. If they do not gain the dominion over me, then shall I be blameless, and I shall be clear from great sin. That's interesting, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. I see a little nugget there for covertly persecuted.
Yeah.
Praise, yeah.
Crazy.
So shall the sayings of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing continually before thee, O Yah, my helper and my redeemer.
Yeah, the words that come out of my mouth.
I gotta piss.
Do you want me to end here?
We could.
Yeah.
I think it's command. I don't know, similitude 6 and 7, because we were talking about that necessary. I could just piss after. Sorry if I got it wrong. I was reading it again today. Remember we were talking about from the Shepherd of Hermes, that necessary afflictions,
yeah.
like those that carry on in luxury and deceit. There's the sheep that are skipping and frolicking, and they look pretty hooped.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the ones that are kind of going through it. They're going through some ringers and stuff. Yeah, it's not right off the top of my head, and sorry if it's not. Similitude 6 and 7, I think it is. And if it's not, hopefully remember that. And,
yeah.
Or just go and read the whole book. The whole book's like if you're targeted, isn't it? Like that's some important stuff in there.
It'll save you from snares.
Yeah, there's like some necessary afflictions and punishments even for people to go through. That's for their own good, and they don't want to despise that. Right, and your enemies will get utilized as part of that. Like you could see that part now too. Like
yeah.
Part of that's like in Isaiah 51 and Jeremiah 30 even, right? But the people that dish this out, even if they overcome you, it's like it looks like they get if they don't repent, they do have the shitty end of the stick. It's so don't be getting all mad, and don't get envious of them. Like it's heavy, right? Yeah, you remember reading that one too, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I would hope we've helped with sharing some gleanings, and we've had to learn a lot of things the hard way. So if we get to see others not having to learn things the hard way, that's a blessing. Praise, yeah, and take caution, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.